Hey girlies, it's Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are finally going to be reviewing all of the new Juvia's Place base products. So I've got the foundation, the concealer and the powder in here. It came yesterday, so I thought I'd just jump on and film this review because I've been so excited to try this. It literally kind of broke the internet. Like, everyone and their mum was talking about this foundation when it first came out. So I've been waiting very patiently to get my package. So thank you Juvia's for sending it to me. It is a PR package, but this video is not sponsored, so yeah. It did also come with this foundation brush, which is actually really like long compared to a normal brush. Can you guys see? It's like an extra long handle, and it is like two-toned bristles. So we're gonna do a brush on this side and then a sponge on this side, just to see if the coverage is different or whatever. I do typically like to apply my foundations with a brush just because you get more coverage. Unless it's super thick like the Huda Beauty foundation, then I like to use a sponge. So we'll see how thick this foundation is. But first we're going to start with swatches. So I'm going to swatch all of the shades that I got because I did get 6 foundation shades. I was swatching them yesterday, like as soon as the package came, and I think I'm either 330 or 340, but I'm going to swatch them in shade order. So let me start with the lightest shade, which is the highest number that I have. So the highest number I have is the shade 410 Nairobi. So I'm going to start with this one. By the way, this is the packaging. Okay, so this is what the packaging of the foundation looks like. It does come in a squeezy tube with 30 milliliters inside, which is like the standard for foundation. I was going to swatch it on my face, but then I accidentally already primed my face, and I used the NARS Smooth and Protect primer, and it's NARS, girl, so I'm not going to wipe it off, okay? So I'm just going to swatch them on my hand for you guys. So this is 410. So this one looks like it has a really warm undertone, like an orange undertone. Okay, and the next one I have is called 400, and it's Ethiopia. So that one looks like a little bit lighter, and it has like a pinky undertone. The next shade I have is Somalia 350. This one looks even lighter. Am I going the right direction? I think they're all the same shade, but just like different undertones, if you know what I mean. So once again, that is 350. Okay, so the next one is 340 Kampala. I think that's how you say it, and I think this one might be me. The undertone of it is just perfection. It's like a neutral olive undertone, which I definitely think I am. I have got a little bit of a tan because I went to Ibiza recently, so I am a little bit darker, a little bit more bronze. But yeah, I definitely think this one is me. Like, look at that. That is like perfect. But there is another one that I think could possibly be me. So next we have 330 Accra, and I feel like this one could possibly be me as well. Maybe me in the winter. So I'm definitely going to keep this shade, but it's just a little bit lighter, but it definitely has that gorgeous neutral olive undertone. So yeah, I feel like maybe this is me now, and then this is me in the winter. And last but not least, I have 320 Zaria. So this one is definitely a warm undertone. As you can see, it's like an orangey undertone, so I don't think that's me. So that's 320, 330, 340. I can't remember those numbers, but yeah. Okay, so now that we've got the swatches out of the way, let me see what Juvia's say about the foundation. So it says radiant, long-lasting, creamy and comfortable, but it is called the Velvety Matte Foundation, so it's velvet and matte but radiant. So I'm interested to see the finish. Our Second Skin Creamy Foundation offers a smooth application with a soft, natural and soft matte finish to give a flawless coverage, a great formula to even out the complexion, refined skin texture, erase blemishes, maintaining the initial finish throughout the day. I'm not going to be doing a wear test today just because my kids want to go in the pool. We bought a new pool and stuff, so I don't want to keep my makeup on all day because it's quite hot today as well. But I definitely will be using it again, of course, and keep you guys updated with my thoughts on it. It's also paraben free, oil free and cyclokoshka free. I don't know what that word is, but okay. So just in case you are new here, I am like a combo oily skin type. I get really oily in the center of my face, but the rest of my face is quite natural. What's the word? Normal, that's the word, normal, yeah. So I think I'm gonna go in with Kampala today, which is 340. I'm going to squeeze it out onto the back of my hand just because I don't want to take too much. So I'm gonna start with about that much, which looks like a pump. I'm gonna take it on the Juvia's Place foundation brush, dab that in. So it's not a runny foundation at all. It's definitely a thick foundation. Yeah, that shade looks perfect. So I'm just gonna drag that on my face, buff it into my, ooh, look at the coverage. Okay. Yeah, definitely feels thick. blending out really, really nice. This brush is doing a great job. The brush feels super, sorry, my camera cut out. Yeah, the brush feels super, super soft. Like it's not prickling me at all. You know, sometimes you get that foundation brush where when you're dabbing it like this, it's just like stabbing you. This definitely doesn't feel like that. And wow, the foundation has covered beautifully. It's definitely a matte finish or soft matte at the minute. Like it's not super, super dry and matte, but it definitely doesn't have a glow to it. So yeah, I actually love the way it blended out and just like melted seamlessly into my face. The color is perfection and the coverage is amazing. For one layer, it's literally like, look at the before, after. Like this is amazing, and I love a matte finish because of my oily skin, so this is right up my street. It does say it's suitable for all skin types, but I'm not quite sure how this will grip onto dry skin types because it is quite a matte finish. So I'd be interested to know if it like grips to dry patches and stuff, but on me it looks beautiful. I've still got some of that foundation from the one pump left, so I'm gonna take that. Oh, I was meant to take it on a sponge. Okay, let me just put that on the middle of my forehead. Basically just gonna do the center of my face with the brush, and then we'll do the other side with the sponge. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is take one more kind of pump on the back of my hand and take it with a sponge. I'm gonna use the e.l.f., I think this is called this facial sponge, I think it's called. Just gonna dab into some of that product. It is definitely thick, and I'm just gonna blend. Wow. Even with a sponge, the coverage is like 100. Wow. Okay, do you know what, guys? I am obsessed with this coverage. Like, I can definitely see myself using this foundation again. Like, whoa. Even with a sponge, like, it's just covered everything and it blends so easily, like so quick, so effortless. I've still got loads of product on the back of my hand. Like, this could probably do another half face, but I don't want to like layer up the foundation or anything like that because it is so thick. But it doesn't feel like thick on the face. Like, you don't feel like you're caked in makeup. Well, I don't anyway, but I'm used to wearing a lot of makeup, so I don't know, if you're used to wearing like a very thin layer of foundation, you might want to just like thin it out a little bit with moisturizer or like oil or something. And the only thing is, I really hope they bring this foundation to Beauty Bay, because here in the UK it is hard to get. They did ship it to me from the USA and it came via FedEx, so I suppose if you did order it from the USA it would come via FedEx and you might get customs and stuff like that, so it's not super easy to get here in the UK. So I do hope they bring it to Beauty Bay, because then I could just be repurchasing it whenever I want, because so far, first impressions, I'm in love. I feel like I could just go like that. I feel like I could just put a little bit of powder on, put a little bit of mascara, and I'm good for like an everyday look. Like, it doesn't really need concealer, but I have the concealer, so I'm gonna test it. So for concealer, they did send me 3 shades. I'm gonna start with the lightest shade, which is shade 13. So this is what the concealers look like. They are thick, girl. They are like thick. Let me compare it to, so I don't know if you guys have got your hands on the e.l.f. concealer, but it's like thicker than the e.l.f. concealer. I know everyone and their mum has the Revolution concealer, so this is how okay this is how thick it is compared to the Revolution concealer, and everyone thought this was thick. Honey, this is like, it looks like a foundation bottle. It honestly looks huge. But anyways, this is the shade 13, so it looks to be like a medium skin tone with maybe a yellow undertone, definitely yellow undertone. So this might be a good brightening shade for me in the winter, but I think right now it's just a bit too bright. Oh, forgot to show you the wand. The wand is humongous as well. It would look a bit weird if you had such a thick packaging with, you know, a tiny little wand. So I do like the packaging of this concealer, and I do prefer thicker wands than thin ones, because I feel like with thin ones you have to keep digging in like 5 times just to get one eye done, but with a thick one like this, like, it's gonna pick up so much product. So the next shade I have is shade number 10, and this is what this one looks like. So compared to 13 is this one and 10 is this one. So it has the same undertone, but it's just a little bit darker, and I think this might make a nice brightening shade for me. So let me swatch that. Yeah, so that is what shade number 10 looks like. I might even be able to mix them both. And then last but not least, I have the shade 6, which I thought would be a good contour color, but looking at it now, it does look a little bit too light for what I like to use for contour, and it does like have a neutral undertone, whereas I prefer a warm undertone for my contour. Not contour, like cream bronzer. So this is what shade number 6 looks like. I think it would definitely still work as a contour, but I do prefer a more warmer type of shade. Okay, so here we have all 3 of the concealer shades. Once again, 13, 10 and 6. I think I'm going to start with the shade 10 underneath my eyes. Okay, so let me just quickly read what it says about the concealer. It says, our magic creamy radiant concealer smooths and cancels out dark circles, blemishes and skin imperfections. Okay, so creamy radiant kind of reminds me of the NARS description. I feel like I don't even need a lot because honestly this foundation has done bits for my face. So I'm just going to put that everywhere I normally would. So do you see what I mean about the big one? Like, it's so quick and easy to just put it on the face. I wonder if I should let this dry down. I'm going to let it sit for a second while I put the contour on. So once again, shade number 6. I'm going to put like a dot. I don't know how pigmented this is. So I'm going to start with like that much. I'm going to take the foundation brush and just blend that. Blend that in. Just going to stipple it. It is a lot more of a neutral undertone than what I prefer for, you know, my cream bronzer, but we're gonna work with it. Yeah, it almost looks like a grayish undertone. I mean, it's definitely working. It's adding a bit of dimension to my face, but it's not a tone that I would usually go for. Blending out really nice actually. Like, it's not sticking or patching up or anything like that. It's blending really, really well. So now we're going to blend in the concealer. I'm going to start on my chin and around my mouth. Okay, so it's blending very, very easy. It doesn't seem to have dried down, so that's good. You still have a little bit of playtime with it. I'm going to blend my nose and now underneath the eyes. Yeah, you definitely have playtime with this. Like, it hasn't stuck to any patches. Like, I feel like with the e.l.f. concealer you have to work quickly, otherwise it will dry in like 2.5 seconds, but this one you definitely have time. So I'm just going to take the foundation brush and just dab on the edges of that to make sure it's blended. As for the shade, it's definitely working. I feel like I could add a dab of the brighter one just to give me that brightness, you know, but it's blending beautifully. The coverage is really, really nice, but to begin with, like, the foundation covered really well anyway, so it's hard to say if this is full coverage because the foundation literally covered everything. But so far you cannot tell me that this doesn't look flawless. Like, it's evened everything, and I think all of this stuff is super affordable. I think the foundation is like $12, which is like £10 maybe. Really, really good. Like, I really hope they bring this to Beauty Bay because I will just like get backups and backups if it lasts, obviously. Okay, so that is the concealers done. I definitely really like it so far. I would be curious to see it in conjunction with my other foundations that I already use, just to see if the coverage is really that good or if the foundation is like tricking my eye right now. But the way it's sitting on my skin looks really, really flawless and I'm really happy. I'm gonna go ahead and set the face. Of course, they did come out with setting powders as well, so I've got 5 shades here. I'm not quite sure if they came out with 5 or they've just sent me 5, but they've given me 5 shades here. They did send me the lightest shade, which is called White Sands. I'm not going to swatch all of the powders. I'm just going to show you guys the inside of them so you can kind of get the tone of the powders. So White Sand is like the lightest one. I don't think it's translucent. I think it is like a white shade. Okay, so the next shade we have is called Sahara, and this one looks like a really light banana shade, so it does have a yellow tone to it, but it is like a light yellow. The next one I have here is called Nyambi, and this one is kind of like a dark topaz type of color. You know, Ben Nye topaz, this reminds me of that, so this would probably be good like underneath the eyes of really deep skin for that brightening effect. The next shade we have here is called Gobi, and Gobi once again is kind of that topaz shade but a little bit lighter than the last one. So this is Nyambi and then this is Gobi. So can you guys see, like, Gobi is just a little bit lighter but they are like the same shade, so maybe this would be good to set medium tan skin, and then this one would be good to set deep skin. And then last but not least, the one I think I'm going to use today is called Kalahari, that's it. I think that's it. This one's like a deep banana shade, so this one is like a deeper yellow compared to the other one, which was a light yellow. So of course it does come sealed, and it does have like a little sieve with the hearts with the holes in the middle. Let's do a quick concealer check. So it has creased on the top of my eyes and also on the bottom, so it is a really creamy formula, and I would definitely set it. And so far it doesn't seem to have dried down at all, and I have been talking through the powders for a little while, so Yeah, it seems to be like a dewy finish. So this is the shade of Kalari. That is actually a really deep yellow. I'm actually going to take the smallest amount of it. I don't want to end up with like really bright yellow under eyes. I'm just going to take that on my sponge and dab that in. Just going to press it in. Ooh, that's brightening really nicely. Okay, yeah, it doesn't look too yellow. And I'm going to do the other side. I'm literally taking the smallest amount of powder because lately I've been using like a very thin layer rather than like baking or anything like that. I'm using like a really thin layer of powder. I'm also going to take some of this in the center of my face, on my nose, everywhere that I put the concealer to highlight basically. It is slightly looking a bit yellow. This reminds me of Buttercup to a T. Like this is really like a deep yellow, and I don't typically use Buttercup. I use Buttercup Light just because it does come across really yellow. Like it might look good on camera, really. Yeah, it might look really good on camera, but in real life it just looks really yellow compared to my skin tone. So I think what I'm gonna do is mix in a little bit of that lighter banana shade, which was called Sahara. Yeah, so this is the shade of Sahara, and this one definitely reminds me of Buttercup Light from Sasha or Ben Nye Banana. It has that yellowy shade, but it's not like too yellow. So I'm just gonna dab that all over to brighten. Yeah, I definitely prefer that shade. Okay, so far I do feel like I prefer the foundation over the concealer. They do work beautifully together, but even though I've set, my concealer is still creasing on the eyelids. So the concealer is just a little bit too creamy for what I prefer. I do prefer a more matte, you know, concealer, one that dries down 100%. This one is definitely, it reminds me of the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer, which is a good concealer for certain days, but for me on like long days or when I'm going out, I do prefer a matte concealer that's going to last all day. Do you know what I mean? I'm just quickly going to take my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Dark and just dust that over the rest of my face to set it. Okay, so that is the foundation, concealer and powder all on my face. I'm gonna go complete the rest of my face, do my eyeshadow, hopefully get no fallout, do my bronzer, lips, and then I'll come back to you guys and show you the finished look and give you my final thoughts. Okay guys, and I'm back. So my face is now complete. On my eyes, I went in with the Revolution Maxi Reloaded palette in the shade Dream Big. It is such a big palette and there's like 10,000 looks you could do with this, but I thought I'd do a green smoky eye to go with my green top, and I think it's come out beautifully. I feel like you could create the same look with their small Reloaded palette, the Iconic Division look. You could probably get the same look from it. But as for this base, girl, I am loving it. This foundation is flawless. I have had it on for like an hour or so now, because obviously I filmed a tutorial with the palette, but also I've been messing around like on Instagram and I had to get my packages. I unboxed a few things and look what I got. So I actually got a package from Ole Henriksen. These skincare products have been all over the internet. Like everyone's been talking about them, so I'm super excited to try all of this. I think I've got like all of the most popular products in terms of like the vitamin C, is it vitamin C? Banana Bright Face Primer, you know, the dark spot toner. Super excited to try this brand. So that was a really good delivery. But anyways, yeah, the point is I've been off camera for a while doing a few bits, so my face has really settled in now. It's definitely like, this is the final result and it just looks so flawless. It looks so good on the skin. It doesn't look cakey. It's sitting beautifully. It photographs beautifully as well, because I did take a couple of pictures for the gram, you know. The powders are not too drying as well. I don't know if that's because it's with a dewy concealer. It's not going to be super matte, but the powders sit really nicely on the skin without like caking or drying up the under eye, which is really nice. But once again, I will have to pair, I want to pair all of these things with different products, do you know what I mean? So rather than all together, I'll try the concealer with a different foundation, try the foundation with a different concealer, and the powder with a different concealer, stuff like that, just to see how they work with different stuff. So I will definitely keep testing all of this out and let you guys, you know, I'll update you guys in different videos. But as for my first initial impression, it looks flawless. I feel like it's covered beautifully. It definitely is full coverage. Overall, I really like these products. They're definitely worth the affordable price. So yeah, if you were looking into it and you were waiting for my review, I know it's been a while, but I hope it has helped you guys. So yeah, that is my thoughts on the collection, guys. Definitely let me know your thoughts. If you have tried it, let me know what you're thinking. Are you loving it? Don't you like it? Let me know your thoughts, because it has been out for a while, so I'm pretty sure everyone and their mum has it. But let me know everything you're thinking down in the comment section. Please give this video a thumbs thumbs up, make sure you are subscribed, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Take care, bye.